Okay, this section we are solving quadratics using the quadratic formula. So we did solving by factoring. We did solving when we had a square root, so the square root method. Then we did the squares. Now, basically this is when I go to factor something, and I can't, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. But you can always actually use the quadratic formula even if you can factor. So you can use this to solve any quadratic. How many of you have seen this before? Okay, you have to memorize this. Okay, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And I think it's there's a melody to it. I think it goes with Mary Had a Little Lamb. All over 2a. No, what is that one? Is that London Bridges Falling Down or something like that? I don't know. One of those nursery rhymes. There is a melody to it. It'll come to me. But it can help you to remember it. All right, so basically what you're doing is you're identifying the values of a, b, and c, plugging them in, and then you're just simplifying, okay? So before you can do that, you do have to move everything to one side. So you have to set the equation equal to 0. Doesn't matter what side, okay? So for this example, let's say I'm going to take this negative 2x and I'm going to move it over here. Okay, I can't actually add this to anything because there's no like terms. I do want to write this in this order here. So you have 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. So I'm pulling the signs from the front. Okay, now the coefficient on x squared is a. So it's in this form here. Ax squared plus bx plus c. B is the coefficient on just the x term. C is the one by itself, the constant. So what I'll do here is I'll just draw a line underneath A, B, and C. And you do want to pull positive or negative from those. Then you're plugging them in to this formula. So we have negative B, so B is 2, negative 2. Plus or minus, then we do our square root symbol. Okay, we have b squared, so b is 2 again. Minus, then we have 4 times a times c. So 4 is part of the formula. Then we have a is 3, and c is negative 8. And then we do a long line. The whole thing is over 2 times a, so 2 times 3. Excuse me. Okay, so then what we want to do is simplify. I drew a line through that, sorry. Simplify using the order of operations. So I want to look at underneath this radical here with simplifying. So I have 2 squared is 4. Now, a lot of people are, is that minus 4? Is it negative 4? Honestly, it really doesn't matter. It's your preference. Sometimes people will say that's minus and then kind of do this, 4 times 3 times negative 8. Or just say negative 4 times 3 times negative 8. It's going to help you with the signs here. What I always look at is how many negatives are there. If it's an even number, I'm adding. If it's an odd number, I'm going to subtract. So in this case, it's even. So 4 times 3 is 12, times 8 is 96. So we do 4 plus 96, which is 100. So that's just going to give us negative 2 plus or minus square root of 100 over 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, you're going to keep working this out until you can't work it out anymore. So in this case, square root of 100 is just 10. So this we're going to get solid answers. Sometimes you're done there when you can't simplify the radical. But square root of 100 is 10. So this just gives us negative 2 plus or minus 10 over 6, which we can actually do. Negative 2 plus 10 over 6, negative 2 minus 10 over 6. We're breaking it into 2 solutions just like we did the last one. So negative 2 plus 10 is 8. 8 over 6 is going to give us 4/3. -2 minus 10 is -12. And -12 over 6 is going to give us -2. So quadratics, most of the time, are going to give us 2 solutions. Okay, so I say most of the time because there is one case where you would just get 1 solution, and that would be if I did this whole problem and then this was 0. Okay, because you can't add or subtract the square root of 0. So then that would just all end up canceling out, and you get negative b over 2a. Every other time, though, you're going to have 2 solutions. Okay, so here's that line of answering again. So you have 2 real solutions, because they're both real numbers. You could graph those. And let me see what this harmony is. I'll hold it up here on YouTube. So.
X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Just to help you remember.
X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac.
All right, there you go, to help you remember. Just quadratic formula song in Google there. Okay, so let's look at example 2. All right, so we want to we want to move everything to one side. So I'm just going to take this -5 and I'm going to add it over here. Again, can't add anything. They're all like terms, or not like terms. So x squared minus 7x plus 5 equals 0. Can't factor it. Nothing multiplies to 5 besides 1 and 5, and there's no way that can combine to 7. All right, so A, B, and C. So A is the number in front of x squared. What's in front of x squared? 1. So I want to see you guys doing that. I don't want to see any of you actually put x squared in for A. You're not taking any of the x's. It's just the numbers. Okay, here's B, and C is going to be 5. So I have negative B, so -7 will create a positive 7, plus or minus the square root of B squared, so -7 squared minus 4ac, so 1 and 5, all over 2a. No, it's not Ring Around the Rosie, it's Pop Goes the Weasel. That's what it is. I finally got it. I knew it would come to me. Okay, sorry. All right, so -7 squared is positive 49. There's 1 minus sign, so it's going to be minus, the odd number. 4 times 1 times 5 is 20. What is 49 minus 20? 29, yeah. So this is just 7 plus or minus the square root of 29 over 2. Can I simplify 29? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's prime. So there you're done. If you can't simplify that radical, you stop. All right, try example 3 on your own, and then we'll do example 4 together because I know fractions are intimidating. All right, so we're going to take the 12x, or the minus 12x. We're going to move it over. Okay, these are going to cancel. So if I write this all out, this is 10x squared plus 12x minus 1 equals 0. So then A is going to be 10, B is going to be a positive 12, C a negative 1. So if I plug this in, I have negative B, so negative 12, plus or minus square root of B squared, so 12 squared minus 4 times 10 times negative 1 over 2 times A, so 2 times 10. Okay, what's 12 squared? 144. And how many negatives? So this is going to be good. What is 4 times 10 times 1? 40. 144 plus 40? 184. So we get negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 184 over 20. 2 times 10 there. Can I simplify 184? Probably. Did you guys find anything that went in? 16, maybe? No? So just 4? It's 46. Can I think of 2 times the square root of 46? Yeah, I think that, I'm just making sure that's the biggest. That 4 is the biggest one. I think so, yeah. All right, so that is square root of 4, square root of 46, square root of 4 is 2. So we get negative 12 plus or minus 2 square root 46 over 20. Now, do you suppose that I could reduce any of these? Yeah, you could reduce it. You can break this out like this if you want, negative 12 over 20 plus or minus 2 root 46 over 20, and then reduce individually. Or you can do it all at once. They're all divisible by 2. You ignore the radical, though, because that is like a variable, okay? So this is 6, 1, and 10, which those two could still be reduced, but if you just do it on one line like this, you got negative 6 plus or minus, need room, hold on, negative 6, where's my pen, plus or minus root 46 over 10. You could technically do that. I don't know if it would accept the answer because it's still not fully reduced there. So I'd probably break it up like this. Those can both be divided by 4. So 3 and 5. And then these, 1 and 10. So negative 3/5 plus or minus the square root of 46 over 10. There's our fully simplified answer. All right, any questions? Let's look at this fraction one. We need to get rid of the fractions. What am I going to multiply by to get rid of the fractions? Yeah, this one's actually pretty easy because you just multiply everything by 7. It cancels out all the fractions. And 0 times 7 is still 0. So this is just 2x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So let's go ahead and do the quadratic formula for that. So you have A, B, and C. So we have negative B is 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 AC, so 2 and 2. over 2a, so 2 times 2. Okay, so we'll simplify under the square root. 3 squared is 9. How many minus signs? Just one. So this is minus 4 times 2 times 2. What is 9 minus 16? Negative 7. Negative 7. Very important there because then this turns into negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 7 over 4. 2 times 2. What do I do with that negative? Can I simplify that any further? Nope. I'm done. Okay, and in this case with the I, then what we would say, this is two imaginary solutions. You have the I in the solutions.